What's up guys, so this is a quick video on wind noise reduction on the Hero 5 session. So right, I've already done a video on the Wind Slayer and basically had a few issues with it, as you know. So I wasn't happy with the Wind Slayer because it ended up making it really big and bulky, if you can see that compared to it next to it. It makes it double the size basically. So right, so what I've come out with, the idea is basically is to take this lens cover off. So what I'm going to do that now and I'll show you what I found out. So I'm quickly going to take these screws out, like I said. Just be careful not to lose the screws and make sure you don't scratch your camera in any way or scratch your lens. There's 8 screws altogether. Just take your time and just take them off. Just be careful you don't drop them because I think they'll be very hard to find because they're that small. Nearly. Last 2 screws. So right, if you can see that, that's all the screws off. So I'm going to take the cover off now. As you can see, this side here, this is where the microphone is. That's the LED. So right, what I realised was, if you look at the lens cover itself, and I'll just turn it over, make sure you don't touch the glass inside because you'll have to clean it and then you'll end up with loads of dust and stuff, so don't touch it. So right, this is where the LED is and this is where the microphone goes. As you can see, there's a channel there what goes all the way to the bottom here, and that goes all the way to this point here, and that lets in wind and noise from this bottom bit as well. So if you can see that, that's how it is. So what I realized was that you have to fill all this channel up or else the wind blows from in between here and comes up here to the microphone, even through where the screws are embedded in. So what I did was I found some thin foam. As you can see, this, it's not as thick as the Wind Slayer. I did cut some pieces off there and did an experiment, but it wasn't good enough. So what I ended up doing was I've got some double-sided sticky tape, which is like foam, and I'll show you now. Basically I'm going to cut some strips off. So that's one strip. I'm going to cut that in half. And I'm going to take the other side off because it's easier to take off now than when it's stuck on. So right, that's off. And I'm going to cover the microphone up completely because the microphone's that sensitive. I've cut round it and left it open. It's still allowed a lot of wind noise through. So I'm just going to stick that over here. Make sure you don't block these screw holes. So as you can see, I've covered the microphone up now. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit of foam off. And I'm going to stick the foam over the double-sided sticky tape just to help absorb a bit more wind noise. So right, that's what it looks like with the foam on it as well. So right, next step. If you can see, there's a little hole here as well. And like I said, the main issue was that the wind and the noise was coming from the bottom here. So we'll block that up now. So I've got a little bit more there of the double-sided sticky foam, which isn't very thick, it's pretty thin. So right, I've got the other side off. Now I'll stick that on over here now. And be careful, like I said, do not touch your lens if you can, because you'll end up with fingerprints on it. And then when you go back to view your footage, it'll be really bad. So right, that's stuck on there, if you can see that. I'm going to stick some foam over that now. So I've got a piece of foam there. Let's cut it down a bit, it's a bit big. So right, there you go. So that's covered now. Hopefully that'll stop any wind from travelling from here all the way top to the top there. So right, the next step is going to be to cover this channel up here to stop any wind coming in. Sorry. So basically we're going to try to block this channel up here to stop any wind coming through. As you can see where the screws are as well, wind can actually get through there as well and affect the microphone. I've tested this out a few times, and what I realised is the microphone is very sensitive. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a little strip off this double-sided tape. It's not going to be too thick. So I'm going to cut that off now. So basically I've just cut a little strip off like that. I'm just going to take the sticky bit off, the paper bit off. Come on. There you go, that's off. So right, I'm going to stick that on now, down the channel now to stop any wind from getting through. There you go, I've stuck that on. You can see that. Sorry. Just make sure it's in proper. I'm going to see if I can stick a piece of foam on that as well. Anything will help really. I'm just going to try to make it bulletproof, so I don't have to strip it again and then do it again. So now I'm going to stick the piece of foam on. So there you go, I've stuck the foam on as well. So hopefully that will help. But I've blocked the screw hole up there. So I want to see if I can right through there. So right guys, we're gonna put it back together now. So that was the microphone, that was the LED. So I'm just gonna put that over there like that. And basically we're gonna refit the screws back on, so I'm gonna do that now. Just be careful when you're tightening it up. Don't over tightening it, because like I said before, if you over tighten it too much, you will round the head off on the screw. So yeah, basically once we put these screws in, job's done. And I'll see if I can do you a demo. Just be careful you don't lose your screws, they're absolutely tiny. And I don't fancy dropping one of these because they'll be very difficult to see. Just be careful you don't scratch your lens cover as well. Just take your time. And this is the last screw. So, right guys, that's it, back together again. So basically that was the bottom where I blocked the hole up, and there was a channel going all the way across here to the microphone, what was allowing wind to pass through here and go to the top. So we've blocked that up as well. So right guys, I'll do you a demo now and we can see what it's like. So right guys, I've done you a demo with and without the modification, and what I did realise was that where I blocked it up at the bottom here and the channel here, that did not help at all. Basically, if anything, it's muffled the sound and reduced the sound completely on it. Basically what I think that's for is to allow the wind to pass through and exit from the bottom. Now it hasn't got anywhere to exit from, it's just muffled the sound quite a bit. It has reduced the wind noise, but I'm still not happy with it. Another thing what I did do on the back, I stuck some sticky foam on the back, if you can see that, and I just stuck the sponge over it like that to help reduce the wind noise. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to open this up again, and I'm going to take the foam and the sponge out of here and at the bottom, and just leave the sponge at the top only. So hopefully that will help it quite a bit. So right guys, I hope this helps somebody out who's thinking about doing the same thing. Like, comment and subscribe. Bye.